Hello, good evening. My name is Dave Gagne. I'm the town administrator here for the town of West Bridgewater. And what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to provide a preview to you for our upcoming annual town meeting, which is scheduled for this Monday, June 3rd. It will start at 7 p.m. at the middle school, high school. And this is the one time per year that residents, it's an open meeting to all residents, can come into town meeting and be able to vote on budgets and other policy issues that will carry the day for the entire following year. So on Monday, June 3rd, will be your opportunity to be able to take part in that. All you have to do is be a registered voter in town, and you're able to participate. Now the meeting starts at 7 o'clock. However, at 6:45, we will have a pre-town meeting ceremony. We do this every single year. It's a really nice event, and a lot of people deserve a lot of credit for all the work that they do behind the scenes. But first, we'll have an invocation from a local pastor. The Boy Scout troops will then do a presentation of flags. Our local Girl Scouts will do a Pledge of Allegiance, and our own Haley Devery will then sing the Star Spangled Banner. They all do a magnificent job. It really is a nice event. After that, we had a fire in February on Route 24. Quite frankly, it was a pretty bad fire. And a non-resident of West Bridgewater happened to be on Route 24. Our public safety was a few minutes behind, and he showed great heroism by jumping into a burning car and helping people that, quite frankly, would have been seriously hurt, if not worse. And so the Board of Selectmen are going to have a proclamation for him and also honor him for his heroic efforts. And then, as we do before almost every other town meeting, is that one local West Bridgewater resident will receive the Victor Flaherty Senior Award for excellence within the town. After that, our moderator who presides over the meeting will call the meeting to order, presumably at about 7 o'clock. Now, what there will be at town meeting is what we call 48 articles. Articles is just a fancy word for an agenda item. So basically, we have 48 agenda items that will be discussed. And the way it will work is that somebody requested from the Board of Selectmen that they want to place an agenda item at town meeting. And so that person or board will then, what we do call move that article, meaning they will ask town meeting to consider it. Somebody will second it, and then they will open the floor up for discussion, and then the town will vote on it. In order for that article to be discussed, somebody must move it, somebody must second it, and then it can be discussed. If nobody moves it or nobody seconds it, that article fails and will not be discussed at town meeting. So this year there's 48 of them. The first 3 warrant articles are recurring warrant articles. They happen every year. They are normally non-controversial. They include the annual report from officials, entering into Mass DOT contracts, and also establishing elected official salaries. Article 4 is one article, but within that one article are all the budgets for the entire town. So again, think of police, fire, school department, water department, DPW. Each and every single one of those budgets will be discussed within that one warrant article. And the normal process is the moderator will call the budget. So for example, the first budget call will be the moderator budget. That totals $588. He will call out $588. If nobody objects, he moves on to the next motion, to the next budget. If somebody does object, they will just say hold. After we go through all the budgets, and there's about 65 budgets, there'll be a handful of holds. We will then go back and discuss each one of those individuals' budgets. After we do that, then we will take a formal vote on Article 4, which sets the budget for next fiscal year, which starts this July 1st. Article 5 through 7 is very similar to Articles 1 through 3. They're standard, normally non-controversial. They include state provided for assessor exemptions, entering into Chapter 90 contracts and utilizing that money. And the Board of Health locally runs a finance program for those in need for new and upgraded septic systems. Articles 8 through 14 will come from the Community Preservation Fund. We call that CPC for short. That is separate taxation from the general fund. It provides funding specifically and regulated for only certain items. So it can't be used for most items in the town. It can be used only for the most part, historical preservation, housing needs, etc. So 8 through 14 will be in reference to all of those projects that the Community Preservation Committee has already looked at and vetted, along with the Board of Selectmen and the Finance Committee. They'll be there voting for your approval. Articles 15 through 17 is, again, 3 articles that come up every single year. They're reoccurring, normally non-controversial. Article 15 will be to fund the OPEB account, which is other post-employment benefits. It's basically an accounting mechanism that we have to fund for benefits for after when town officials retire. The police have a regional task force. We match their grant. In Article 17 is that we have a municipal building funds need fund account locally. So that way, if in the middle of the year an air conditioner stops working, we don't have to go back to town meeting to get funds. There's a local committee that oversees that pocket of money. Articles 18 through 30 is mostly capital budget items, and Article 36 the same. So Articles 18 through 30 is various departments. They will be requesting whatever it is that those respective departments are in need of. For example, the fire department will be looking for a grant to match a grant for an exhaust system that is desperately needed inside their facility. The police will be looking for a new police cruiser. The DPW department has their needs, along with a handful of other departments as well. And then Article 36 will come from the Board of Selectmen. All of this money is from what we call free cash, meaning none of this affects taxes. This is all money that was taxed last year, that was unspent, and now is being able to be repurposed, so that way it does not negatively affect the tax rate or your taxes by $1. And the monies that are left over from all of that, we have been placing into the town stabilization account or rainy day fund, and that's Article 36. Articles 31 and 32 are going to be in reference to the school department. The first one is that they have a shortfall in their current operating budget, and so they will be looking to transfer money into that for their related costs. And Article 32 would be to request town meeting to establish a special stabilization account, basically a rainy day account specifically for the school department and the needs for special education. Articles 33 to 35 are in reference to the library. So Article 33 will be to pay off debt that we incurred on a roof project that we did last year. So the bids came in much lower than anticipated, which is fantastic news. We'll use our leftover monies from last year, again, not going to cost the taxpayer $1, and we will pay off that debt so that way we do not incur long-term interest charges. In addition to that, they have some security and technology needs that they're looking to fund. Articles 37 and 38 are water-related articles. So in 37, they're going to be looking to permit a new water source, and in 38, they're going to be looking to do upgrades to their Spring Street tank for their water supply. Articles 39 and 40 will both pertain to the Board of Assessors. They have attempted to negotiate what we call pilot agreements, payment in lieu of taxes, with solar array companies, so that way it creates a stable taxing environment for them and for the town, and we do not have to potentially incur long-term legal costs if there are ever arguments or debates about what they should be taxed. Article 41 has been proposed by the police department for what we call a home rule petition. In essence, what town meeting is going to be voting on is special legislation. This legislation, if passed, would then go to both our House and Senate delegates. They would bring it to their respective chambers for their approval and then bring it to the governor for his signature. And this special legislation pertains to our special police officers. In essence, state law is our police officers cannot work past the age of 65. And most communities allow what we call special police officers, normally retired police officers, to work until 70. However, it does require special legislation to do that, so that's why we're petitioning the state in order to be able to provide that legislation. Articles 42 and 43 are in reference to general bylaw amendments. So the Board of Selectmen are proposing that we rescind the Sealer of Weights bylaw, and a resident is requesting that we rescind the cigar wrappers bylaw. Article 42 is because the Board of Selectmen sets the fees across the board for almost all departments. And for whatever reason, Article 42, passed many years ago, sets the fees. And every time we want to make a change so we could stay up with market conditions, we'd have to come back to town meeting to make that amendment. It's not really the best course of action. The Board of Selectmen set all other fees in town. They should be allowed to set these fees as well. So by rescinding the article, we allow the Board of Selectmen to set the fees. A local resident, especially with the passage of marijuana being legal now, the currently Article 51 of the town's general bylaws state that our local retailers cannot sell cigar wrappers. And because he believes that to be an antiquated and obsolete bylaw, he is asking the town to rescind that bylaw. Articles 44 through 47 are zoning bylaw amendments. Zoning bylaw amendments basically is where is a residential zone or a commercial zone? What can be in one versus the other? And then what kind of regulations fall into those categories? Those are all voted on and discussed through the planning board through their permitting process on an annual basis. They have 3 amendments that they're looking to make to zoning bylaws, and so those 3 amendments will be before the board for your discussion and approval. And the last one is Article 48, is Pearl Road, currently permitted as a private road in a private subdivision. They are going to ask and petition the town that the town convert that from a private road to a public road. After that, town meeting will be over. There will be no other business to be conducted, because if you are not already on the agenda, called a warrant, and you do not already have an article, again, an agenda item, if that is not already before the town for that evening, no other business can be discussed. Our town bylaw does say that if it goes beyond 11 o'clock, that a vote of town meeting can extend beyond 11 so we can try to finish in one night. If not, we would have to go a second night. Of course, if everybody's already checked the schedule, the Bruins are on that night. So I am sure that there'll be people motivated to be able to watch the Bruins as well. But again, not to downplay this is serious business for the town. This is your town. These are your bylaws. This is your tax money. These are your budgets. These are your departments. And therefore, you have a right to weigh in. Thank you very much. I hope you found this to be helpful. And if you're able to, please come by on Monday night and be part of your government. Thank you very much.